Benny the Butcher dropped his major label debut, Everybody Can't Go, on Def Jam after being signed by their new executive creative consultant, Snoop Dogg. He was the first artist signed by Uncle Snoop, and we have to give him a round of applause. Job well done.
It's hella good.
There are so many things to love about this album. I love the title, Everybody Can't Go, and the meaning behind it, that as you attain higher levels of success, there will be people around you that try to take advantage of you and hold you back that are necessary to cut out of your life.
Cut it out. Get out of here.
I love that every song has a distinct theme and a message behind it. I love that it is a concise and focused album. It's 12 tracks, 40-minute runtime, no filler songs, no songs that are just thrown in there just to increase the streaming numbers. I will say that sonically, though, there aren't really any surprises. Being that it's a major label debut, you might have expected an attempt or two at more of a mainstream hit. You don't really get that on this album. But overall, if you're a fan of real rap music, this album is for you. It's also nearly impossible to not make a great album when it's entirely produced by The Alchemist and Hit Boy. And I'm scared to admit this, but I'll admit it anyway. I'm typically not a huge fan of Hit Boy's production. I don't dislike it, but it just doesn't do it for me like it does for other people. Like the Nas and Hit Boy albums, the King's Disease and the Magic album series, that just doesn't do it for me like it does for other people. I don't know why. But his production on songs like Pillow Talk and Slander, How to Rap, and Braun are so good, and I realize that specifically with this album, what Hit Boy is so good at is creating a beat that allows the artist's lyrics to be the focal point of the song rather than the production. The way I listen to music, and I think a lot of rap fans listen to music this way as well, is typically production first, and when it comes to the artist, it's more of the tone of their voice and their delivery and their flow more than it is the actual content of their lyrics that I'm listening to. And that's often a criticism of rap today, that artists really aren't saying anything of substance in their music, but that's definitely not the case on this album because Benny has a lot to say. And with someone like an Alchemist, who's one of my favorite producers of all time, he'll have those beats that give you that stank face where you're like,
Stinky!
And there will be something in the beat that's so unexpected and attention-grabbing that it almost overshadows the artist on the song.
Just seeing if you guys pay any attention to me.
Whereas I think what Hit Boy excels at is creating a beat that is a little more complementary to the MC that he's producing for, and I naturally found myself on the songs that he produced a little more locked into what Benny was saying. I don't know if any of that made sense, but in my head it does. If I go down the track list song by song, I don't see any skips except for the closing track, Big Timers. I like Peasy's flow on this record, but Benny's chorus is kind of corny and it almost sounds like it's coming from a more inexperienced rapper. It didn't really work. I also just think ending on Griselda Express would have been the perfect way to close out the album. You get the big three from Griselda, you get Benny's BSF artist Rick Hyde on it. And the album began with Jermaine's Graduation, where Benny addresses the rumors that Griselda is gonna break up. And then you can close out the album with all of them on Griselda Express and basically showing that we ain't going anywhere. Speaking of Jermaine's Graduation, I have to point out that we got another poop bar. 2024 is the year of poop music. Benny says, "So I'm shitting around these pussies like an all-gender restroom." Actually, I think that's pretty clever. My three favorite tracks come one after another with Buffalo Kitchen Club, Pillow Talk and Slander, and How to Rap. Alchemist's production on Buffalo Kitchen Club is crazy and is the exact thing I meant when I said his production will give you the
Stinky!
And Armani Caesar also bodied her verse. She is for sure the most slept on artist that is affiliated with Griselda, and she can hang with literally anybody on their roster. Pillow Talk and Slander is produced by Hit Boy. I think Babyface Ray and Jadakiss both had really good verses, especially Jadakiss. He's right in his element with this production style, and his verse stayed on theme with the theme of the song, which you don't often get with feature verses on an album. And How to Rap is all the way around executed brilliantly. Hit Boy's production is great, and you get those horns that always make for a great motivational type of song. Benny, he says in his words that he's giving a lesson on how to be a rapper 101. And we get some of the best bars from Benny on this album, like this one. He says, "Got the labels calling you, they fly you out to talk to you, lowballing you, and kind of still doubt if they can market you. Turn it down and show them that your number was inarguable. And when they double back, you charge them triple what they offered you." I think all the feature verses are very strong on this album. I already mentioned Jadakiss on Pillow Talk and Slander. Lil Wayne on Braun, he had a standout verse. That was one of the best verses I've heard from him in quite a while. And then obviously Stove God Cook stole the show on 1 Foot In. Everyone is patiently awaiting his album. He hasn't dropped since 2020. I think the most interesting and well-executed song in terms of subject matter is Trust is More Valuable Than Love. This song contains 3 different stories from Benny. Each story gets its own verse, and each verse gets a new beat from The Alchemist. The first story is about a female correctional officer named Jasmine who starts hooking up with an inmate and eventually starts smuggling in smartphones for him and then later drugs. When eventually the heat starts to get put on her and she wants to stop, the inmate doesn't let her, and then he eventually snitches on her and testifies against her to get his sentence shortened. The second story is about 2 brothers unknowingly hooking up with the same woman. The woman has a child with one of the brothers. When the other brother realizes this, he kills both the baby and his own brother. Now, the third story I want to preface with, I am not snitching on Benny. He doesn't 1000% explicitly say this, but he makes it very, very, very clear that he's talking about himself. He even goes as far as essentially doing a throwback Lil Wayne whoops line. He says, caught a rapper slipping and put a bullet in the leg of me. Leg of him. Life feel like it's testing me. This verse is basically the infamous story from a few years ago when Benny got shot in Houston, and in here he's saying he eventually got his revenge. The story ends with Benny saying, catch that dirty motherfucker when he finally gets sent to jail and have BSF carved in his face with a dirty nail. Now, in my opinion, this record is the most creative and engaging and really showcases Benny's talents as a lyricist. Rather than just telling you why he thinks trust is more valuable than love, he illustrates this by telling you all these various stories. But I'm not sure that it's such a great idea to be so blatantly telling on yourself, especially when you have Young Thug's ongoing trial happening where they're clearly using lyrics against him, and Young Thug and his team are going as far as censoring his lyrics on 21 Savage's new album.
But you don't say that.
Overall, I love this album, and it got better and better with each time I listened to it. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think really all it was missing was maybe one bigger sort of hit standout song. And then if I were to change something, I'd probably just take out Big Timers and the album on Griselda Express. But this project was definitely a level up for Benny and a step forward, and is a perfect blueprint for what a major label debut album should be like. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like, please subscribe to my channel. You can drop a comment, say whether you agree or disagree with me. I am Don Chenz, and I will see you all next time.